Now let's start with a question to all of you. I'll tell a story and you tell me if you can guess if it is written by AI. Ready? Yes? I can't hear you. Thank you. So imagine there's a girl who has it all figured out. She aced her 12th exams, scored 100% in physics, chemistry, and mathematics. Then she got placed in the top, after engineering, from a top engineering college. She got placed in an IT company. She worked with the best minds in the industry, got married to the love of her life. She became mother to a beautiful baby girl, worked on herself, and then climbed the corporate ladder, won many awards at work. To the world, she was unstoppable, but inside, she felt something was missing. So she did a lot of side hustles. How many of you have done side hustles? Anyone here? So side hustles, and she was really working on how she can find something truly fulfilling. But she was not truly satisfied. So she did quite a bold decision. Despite being into a very high-paying job, she quit it, and she started her own edtech startup. This was it. This was her big dream. She worked with investors, pitches, sales calls, endless nights. She was building $1 million startup. But instead of success, she got something else: agoraphobia, fear, panic attacks. She could not even step out of her own house. The startup didn't work as planned. She wanted to end her life. She locked herself, looked at the moving fan, and every day she had thoughts of ending her life until one day, on a traffic signal, stuck in panic, she looked at the little girl sitting beside her in the car. That moment of despair, she looked into her eyes and she decided that she had to fight back for her daughter. She consulted a psychologist, worked on herself, suffered for years. She picked up one book and then another. She started walking and running. And then with every book she read, she became stronger. With every kilometer she ran, she became braver. And then she did something she never imagined she could do. She wrote her own book, one and then another. Modi ji started following her on Twitter. And then she realized that she had found her purpose to make India the author capital of the world. She did not 1 kilometer, she did 5 kilometers, and then 10 kilometers, and then 21, and then 35, and then 42 kilometers. She did not one book, not two books, and 3, and 4, and 15, and 17 books. And still she's doing and working on herself. She built the largest community of authors in India. That girl was me. I share this story with you because AI can write stories, but it cannot live a story. It can write amazing things, but it cannot feel, it cannot struggle, and it cannot fight for a dream. And that's what makes human creativity irreplaceable. Let's step back for a moment and think AI can do anything and a lot of things. It can compose poetry. It can write books in seconds. It can do complex tasks at the blink of an eye. But I ask all of you that could AI have lived my story? Could AI have lived the pain of failure, the rejection, the pain of rejection? Could AI have done that? No. Yet, so many people are actually outsourcing their creativity to AI, knowing that AI can write a poem, but it has never fallen in love. Knowing that AI can write a script, a talk script, but it has never stood on a stage wondering whether it would be rejected or accepted. Yet, we outsource our creativity to AI. Why? What makes us do that? Because we think that it is very efficient. And how many of you love stuff written by AI? You think that AI writes better than us, right? Let's be honest here. Yes? Yes or no? See, there is no denying that AI writes better. AI is wonderful. It's actually extraordinary. Imagine, just think about this. AI can go through thousands of best-selling books and create one novel in few seconds. It can go through history's greatest speeches and come up with one TEDx script in few seconds. And then we are so tempted by its efficiency, isn't it? Then the question arises, why do we have to put effort to find the right words when AI can do it for us? Why spend hours on brainstorming when AI can get 10 ideas in few seconds? So the question arises, when AI can do it, do we really need human creativity? What do you think? My answer to it is absolutely yes. Because what people don't understand is AI is not a creator. It's a predictor. It's a compiler. It's just a mimic. It takes existing data, it rearranges, remixes, and then it regurgitates. So AI is actually a mirror of history, but it cannot dream of the future. That's what AI is. So AI does not create from emotion. AI does not create from imagination. AI does not create from personal experience. So as creators, professionals, leaders, and thinkers, what we are losing every day slowly is our voice by using AI. How many of you have realized that? Thank you. So today I'm going to share something amazing with all of you. Let's take a very hypothetical example. Say Rakesh and Mini, they graduate from a top engineering college, and they get placed into an IT company. Both are trained on using AI. How many of you are trained on using AI? So Rakesh and Mini are given projects, and they are working on project, and Rakesh is using AI tools, and so is Mini. But Mini's solutions are getting appreciated and implemented at office. Rakesh is wondering, what is he missing? Is he actually missing some tools that he needs to learn more? So out of curiosity, because his work got rejected multiple times and it is so generic, he actually approaches Mini. That Mini, what exactly you're doing? Which AI tools are you using? So Mini gives the same list that he already knows. So Rakesh again asks Mini that, no, I know you're doing something different. What exactly you're doing different? This is what my authors face, the problem that they go on AI, everything is there. How many of you agree that the data is already there on the internet? Then why would anyone read your book? Why would anyone take your solution when you are working in an organization? Because they can also use AI and get the same solution. And that's where my HUMAN formula comes in picture, which is called the human formula. I teach this to my students at the academy, which helps you become irreplaceable, and it applies to professionals, it applies to thinkers, it applies to leaders. So this is something that you can apply in your daily life. Are you ready to understand this? Yeah, type yes if you are. Yeah, thank you. I need some, answering so that I know that you're understanding and I am not going very, very fast. So number one, H stands for, can you take a guess? How many of you understand me? How many of you can relate to me? Can you relate to me? Are you understanding what I'm sharing? Well, I am sharing data, but I'm also sharing something else which is called as H, which is heart and emotion. How many of you have read a book that made you cry or saw a movie that left you speechless? Or you heard a song and you remembered your special loved person, loved one. You did that? But AI doesn't have a heart. And these things that touch your heart need a heart, need to be relatable. So when you use AI, ensure that you ask yourself what it makes you feel, and that is what will be your USP. You use data, AI can process data, but it can never feel, experience, love, resilience, hope, and that is what you need to add when you use data given by AI. So the key point here when you use AI for your work is add heart and emotion to it. Now ask me, how can I add heart and emotion to my work? Ask me, how? Use stories. Now, why stories? Ask why stories? Because of release of endorphins, release of hormones in your body, dopamine, endorphins that make you feel good. And when you feel good, what happens in your body? That is the reason why you're hooked to social media, because there is a release of dopamine and there is a release of endorphins happening in your body. And that is what, as a human, you need to do with your work. You want people to come to you and get, you want to have that magnetic attraction that despite using AI, people should get connected to you. It's because of heart and emotion. So that's edge for you. The key here is use AI, but at the same time, ask yourself what it makes you feel and add stories to your work. How many of you are great storytellers here? Learn the art of storytelling and connecting with people. Learn this art of releasing hormones in the audience or your next person next to you. Learn this art and you will be able to actually beat AI at it, because AI doesn't have a soul, it doesn't have a heart, and it doesn't have this ability to release hormones in your body, but you do. So that's edge. Next is unpredictability and risk. I'll tell you a secret. AI is a follower, not a leader. AI is made in such a way that it processes the data of the past and then finds out what can work in the future. But what about creativity? It is actually about breaking the mold. Imagine if AI was there in 1500s, it would have told Galileo not to go against the idea of that Earth is the center of the universe. Because at that time, all the existing data proved that Earth was the center. Imagine if AI was there in 2000s, it would have told Steve Jobs not to go with smartphones. Why? Because at that time, Nokia was dominating the market. So it would have said that just be in your lane. So the great ideas, the great work are done by people who defy patterns. AI can never do that. So the learning from you is you learn the patterns, but then understand, ask yourself, what if? If I had not asked myself, what if, I wouldn't have done my first 1 kilometer. I would have said, nahi, abhi tak maine run nahi kiya, I haven't run, so I cannot do 1. I asked myself, what if I could do it? I did 1 kilometer. Then I'm like, okay, what if I could do 5 kilometers? And I did that. Oh, what if I could do 10 kilometers? I did that. By asking yourself, what if, you can break all the patterns. Your family might not have a millionaire, but if you ask yourself, what if I become the first millionaire of my family? You can do that. So the question, what if, AI will never ask. So that's you, unpredictability and risk. Great ideas don't come from what has already worked. Great ideas come from people who are ready to take risk and break the patterns. So that's you. The key point is use AI, find the patterns, but then also ask yourself, what if this works? Let's try this. So that's you. I tell my authors at the academy that if you are going to do this, which is already working, then may or may not get success. But if you actually ask yourself, what if, and you break the pattern, you might become the pioneer or the first person to do it. So that's you. Next is, that leads to, when you are taking risk, you want to be doing it with meaning and purpose. See, creativity is not about making things. Creativity is about making things that matter. Now, take an example of Malala's story. How many of you know Malala? Imagine her story was AI written. Best, like perfectly structured. Do you think Malala's story would have inspired you if it was AI written? No. Why? Because it doesn't have the weight of her lived experience. It doesn't have the weight of her courage and her fight for education. So when we are so, amazed by AI's perfect structure and perfect output, but understand that people don't follow words, people follow people with purpose. AI doesn't have a purpose. It cannot dream. It cannot fight. It cannot struggle. So That's M, which is meaning and purpose. So when you are taking risk, ensure that it is for some bigger purpose. Align it with a bigger purpose. You want to write a book? Don't pick any book. I always tell my authors that pick something which is your vision, which is part of your vision and mission. When you do that, it becomes very, very powerful. You want to innovate, have to be with meaning and purpose. You use AI, but then when you add meaning and purpose to it, that is when it becomes very, very powerful. So that's M, which is add meaning and purpose to anything and everything that you create using AI. That leads to something very, very dangerous. How many of you are using AI on a day-to-day basis? Because it is fast, it's efficient, it's never tired, you don't have to wait for anyone, it's never uninspired ki nahi yaar nahi ho raha hai aaj. But it doesn't have this. You use AI to write books, to compose music, to analyze data. A lot of things in like this, you are able to finish it. But you know, over time, what happens then? Something changes in people. People start thinking, did I really write that? Then people start thinking, did I really create that? And from did I, when it will come to, can I really write it? Can I really create that? They become so AI dependent that they lose their creativity. Remember that the things that you are not using, it will stop growing. If you stop thinking, you will stop growing. And which is authenticity and confidence. Imagine you've been using AI a lot of times. Your entire social media is AI-generated content, videos and text. Your books are AI-generated. Then you are called for an event like this. You come on the stage and again speak AI-generated script. But now someone asks you a question and you are stumped. Now you speak your own words and people are not able to relate to it. Why? Because they see someone else online. They see someone else in the book. And they see someone else on the screen, in person. Now they cannot relate to you. Is the person online authentic or the person here authentic? Plus, when someone is using AI, when they come on stage and suddenly it will be like, I'm not these words. So confidence is not about how good your words sound. Confidence is about whether your words are truly yours. When you write a story, you not just create a book, you actually create self-belief. So when you use AI, ensure that you're using very mindfully. Don't let it take your authenticity. Don't let it take your self-confidence and self-belief. And how can you do that? Ask me how. Find a balance. Ensure that when you are using AI, you are not stopping thinking. You are not outsourcing your thinking ability to AI. Every time you're using AI, ask yourself, N, which is, can I innovate here? You put your contribution to it, and that is when no one can copy you. If you are just going to take anything from AI, it's all generic, because everyone would have similar results based on the prompts that you will use. But when you add your innovation, your authenticity to it, then there is a chance that you will start innovating. AI assists, but only humans innovate. AI can create, because I know some of you will be like, Sweta, AI can create, and it can do it so marvelously. Yes, it can do it. But only humans look forward. AI looks always backward. And the greatest thinkers, the greatest artists, the greatest performers of the future will not be those who let AI replace them. They will be those who take risk, who think, feel, and do work with an intention. So the next thing is N, which is natural innovation. Key point is use AI mindfully. How many of you have learned something right now? Yes? So that's your HUMAN formula, which is heart and emotion. U is unpredictability and risk-taking ability. M is meaning and purpose. A is authenticity and confidence. And N is natural innovation. Now, I'm here not to tell you that, oh, don't use AI. I'm asking you to use AI mindfully, and I am giving you 2 ways to do it. Would you like to know what are the 2 ways? Yes. Okay. So the 2 ways here are, number 1 is take up this challenge. How many of you are ready to take up this challenge, which is called the Creative Balance Challenge? At the start, you will find it a little difficult because you have stopped using your own creativity. So every time you use AI, you also put your brains to work and you innovate, meaning you add your part to it. And that's your creative balance. But a lot of times what people think that, okay, I think I am doing creatively. So for them, the second one is have a mindful AI card. So every day you can ask yourself, at the end of the day, of course, you can ask these 5 questions to yourself. If you are answering yes, that means your creativity is intact and that you are not AI dependent. But if you answer to these questions more than like 3 no's, that means you are AI dependent. You need to protect or reclaim your creative process. And this is what you can do now to reclaim your creative process, a balance. So to conclude, AI will evolve. It will become faster, it will become better, it will become more powerful. But remember that the great ideas are not coming from machines. They are coming from people like you and me. One idea, one voice, one bold action at a time. The pixels of progress are going to be made by people like you and me. So I'm so thrilled to see how you use AI, not blindly, but brilliantly. Thank you.